Hello. So I came on here to answer this particular question briefly. I got this comment on an old video, a video where I talked about sexual energy. That particular video, I really explained everything I know about sexual energy. It's a very detailed, personal video, like it's deep. So I was able to explain myself and express myself on the topic sexual energy. And somebody asked a question which I just remembered that I have not answered, and I want to quickly make a video on. If you've not seen that sexual energy video, I feel like you should go watch it. If you're somebody that is really interested in knowing about sexual energy, how to use sexual energy for your personal growth and development, how to use sexual energy for creating your desired reality, whatever it is that you want, how to channel that energy into betting something you desire. So go watch it. Anyway, so Precious is trying to know if sexual energy, if pleasing yourself, affects your energy during abstinence. I'm actually thinking of starting this video fresh, but nah, let's just do it. Let's just go with the flow. So Precious wants to know if pleasing yourself affects your sexual energy during abstinence. So I'm wondering trying to understand where her question is coming from. So I'm assuming that you want to know if you're using your sexual energy for something other than having sex. Instead of having sex, sharing your sexual energy with something or someone external, you're using it for something, maybe personal growth, like I said, or you're using it to create something and you need all this energy. You're trying to understand if you please yourself sexually, if you go down on yourself sexually, if that's going to affect what you're already doing, the work you're already doing. If that's your question, this is the simple answer I have, because I have been partaking in self-pleasing and I am abstaining from sex. What's happening? I have been partaking in pleasing myself. I have been masturbating. That's the right word to use. That's the general word everybody knows. And I have been abstaining from having sex with someone external. I've not done that for a while now. But then I have been self-pleasing. And what do I have to say about that? Is this affecting my growth, my personal growth? Is it affecting what I'm using the energy for? No. It is not actually affecting. It isn't. I'm going to start by saying that one of the reasons why it is not affecting my personal growth is because of this particular thing that I know, that I'm aware of. Whatever it is that you give meaning to, that is what will hold power in your life. Whatever it is that you believe in, that is what will keep creating your reality. So if you don't believe that your sexual energy can be drained from self-pleasing, it wouldn't hold power, okay? Everything that holds power in your life is because of the amount of emotional attachment you have towards it, the amount of the way you're holding on to this belief. And because you're holding on to it emotionally, you're holding on to the belief, it is creating your reality. It is happening just the way you believe that it will happen, okay? So that's one of the reasons why I don't believe that it's actually affecting anything. It is not. And let me explain this in another term. Self-pleasing to me is mastering yourself, okay? Is mastering how to please yourself, not just sexually, but in every aspect of your life. Now, whatever it is that is giving you orgasm holds a lot of power. either in the life of a girl or a guy. Whatever it is that gives you orgasm, whatever it is that you find pleasure in, actually holds a lot of power. Most people make their choices and decisions based off of what they are enjoying, like what they enjoy doing, what is pleasuring them. That is why you see most people go out of their way to do some certain things just to get a particular pleasure, right? So whatever that thing is holds like a whole lot of power in your life. And if you're the one that is pleasing yourself, it means that you hold a lot of power. So you're like you're your own pleasurer. So seeing it from that particular aspect, that is what I believe, that is how I see it. I see it from that angle, and that is why it is creating my reality the way it is creating my reality, which is not affecting it. Okay, now imagine what gives you pleasure. If you're somebody that you are going into abstaining, and what you get pleasure from mostly is from an external, like from somebody outside yourself. Now, the amount of orgasm or pleasure you get from that person actually somehow controls your life. Like, because of what you get from that particular person, there are certain things that person can make you do. So you see how your world now is not just controlled by yourself, but it is controlled by someone external. You see? And once it is controlled by someone external, that already is affecting your life. That already is disrupting how your life is meant to be. Instead of you making choices that will benefit you, you make choice based off of that person, and it might affect, because you're not a master of yourself. So from that angle again, which is the same thing as the first angle, pleasing yourself doesn't affect your energy during abstinence. Another way to look at it is, now I think I have seen video where they talk about semen retention for men, and there's reason why most men are advised not to, even when they're not engaging in a sexual interference, a sexual partnership with something external, they shouldn't do it to themselves, because retaining your semen or retaining that cloud9, that orgasm, like retaining it, gives you this particular power over yourself, over your manifestation, or let's say your creation, because you're already manifesting, but over the things that you create. Like, it's like a superpower to men. Now that is the same way it is when it comes to like women too, somehow. Now the amount of time you orgasm would determine if this is going to affect your energy or not. When you orgasm, when you come from self-pleasing, you get to this high and then you come down. To me, how often you do it matters. Being able to master how to retain your horniness, let's just go there, retain that sexual energy, retain that feeling, being able to master how to retain it, to me it creates like this, it's an energy that is meant to come out, but you hold it back, you master it, you control how you use it, or how you control these things. Like, it gives you this particular supernatural power, to me, that a lot of people in the society does not have, because a lot of people in the society cannot control themselves. They can't control their desires, and that is why they make decisions that somehow affect their reality, and they blame it on, they can't even take responsibility. They take choices, make decisions blindly, because they can't control their desire. They can't control that aspect of themselves. So to answer your question, I do not think that self-pleasing affects your sexual energy during abstinence, if you master how to use it, like how to free the energy. Master the things that you think about, because you're intentionally pleasing yourself. Now you intentionally now please yourself. That's the right way to say it. You intentionally now please yourself, and you please yourself to a certain reason. Like, you're not just out of control, you are pleasing yourself maybe because like a certain reason. Most times when I self-please, I'm always imagining myself achieving something that I want to achieve, like knowing something I want to know, or just I use it to somehow create a desire, like something I want to see physically manifest. That's what I use it for. Do you get? Like, my self-pleasing now, before I would waste my imagination trying to imagine somebody that I was in love with. Then when I was self-pleasing, when I was dating, I used to just imagine being fucked, like I used to imagine these things, like I used to imagine being touched by somebody, I used to imagine all these things. And now I don't do that. Like, I don't imagine someone in particular doing anything to me. I just imagine myself achieving something that I've always wanted to achieve. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm innovative, that's why I'm innovative, that's why I'm here, I'm innovative. Do you get? That's why I used to self-please. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm creative, I'm the most creative being, I'm the most artistic. I use it to like please not just my physical needs but my mental needs, things that need to boost my confidence, things that I need to boost my experience in life. I use it to like, okay, I imagine myself in a particular situation that I want to experience, and I imagine myself in a particular state of mind that I want to live by. I don't know how to explain this thing to you, but I self-please intentionally, and in doing that I have seen a lot of changes in my present conscious mind, because I think using your sexual energy, which is your horniness, to like please yourself in that aspect, where you just self-love yourself. This is what I think that in doing that you automatically start looking inwards to get this is pleasure. Everybody find pleasure in things that is external. 85% of people, they find pleasure in the external things, in people, in material things, now gadgets, in some particular picture wise, something that they are seeing physically, like they just they look outwards for their pleasure. But then when you self-love yourself like that, there's this thing that happens, like a gateway where you start going inward. You start finding pleasure inwards, and it does a whole lot to you. Like, if you want anything, let me not just restricted to the things I'm experiencing, because your experience is going to be definitely different from my experience, and even what I'm saying right now might be different from how somebody else understands how to use their sexual energy. I've seen a lot of videos that talk about how the sexual energy is an energy that I've seen people talk about how you need to release it sometimes. Like, they say you need to release. You see people that believe in that thing, I don't know how to say it, that have that particular mindset. They believe that, okay, if you've started having sex and you stop having sex, that you might feel stuck, you might become stuck, that you need to release the energy. I've seen people talk about things like that, but I don't resonate. I'm talking about from my own experience. I've seen what abstaining from sex with somebody external, I've seen what it has done to me, and I've seen how I have moved from the mindset of finding my pleasure outside to finding my pleasure inside, and how that has actually changed my life exactly to what I want. It's like being programmed to have all these insecurities, being programmed to have all this anxiety and feel this frustration about life, but then you turn that programming, or you change that programming into something that you want, and now it is actually now working for you. Like, life is now exactly what you want it to be. You get? So to me, that is what abstaining from sex and then self-pleasing has done to me. The more I self-please, I don't do it frequently, like I said, I do it intentionally. The more I do that, the more I start to see why I shouldn't lack confidence. I start to see why I shouldn't feel behind in life, why I shouldn't even feel ugly at any point of my life, because now I know what it means to actually be sexy, to be truly sexy. You have to be a master of self. You have to have character, you have to have personality, and all those things has to do with you. So what else? Like, I've seen the things that self-pleasing has done to me. You get? Because I'm no longer looking outside for pleasure, and because I stopped looking outside for pleasure, I don't look outside for validation, I don't look outside for whatever it is that most people look outside for. I am now looking inside. You get? That's like the gateway. To me, that is what self-pleasing has done. Now, there's something about sex and women, because the person that asked this question is a girl. There's something about sex and women that the world wants you to think that you have to be ashamed of your sexuality, but for you to be able to start self-pleasing, that particular programming or that particular thinking is going to cease, or is going to, what did I use? You're going to stop thinking that way. You take away the shame in sexuality and you feel only the sexuality. There's no longer shame attached to the sexuality, because now you know what it feels to please yourself. You know how it feels to please yourself. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You own your pleasure. Owning your pleasure, right? Owning your pleasure does a lot to your whole entire world. Owning your pleasure, trust me, it does a lot. It does a really lot. So again, you're not gonna feel ashamed of anything in life, because now you're not sexually ashamed. Nobody can shame your sexuality, how you like your sex, how you like to dress, how you like to express yourself. All those things are sexuality, which are sexuality somehow. You get, if you're a sexual person. So you're gonna break that, I'll call it chain of being ashamed of your sexuality as a woman, and you're going to now start living in the world that men has been living in since. You know, men are always allowed to do whatever they want to do. Like, I don't know about your reality, but my reality, I know that I lived in a world where men could sexually express themselves, but women couldn't, because of this shame. And once you're not able to sexually express yourself, you might end up in marriages where they don't sexually please you. You might end up in a relationship where you're not sexually pleased, but you accept it because that is what women has been taught to believe. They don't know that their own orgasm is important. It is important. They don't know that they have to feel good to during sex. They don't know that they have to, you know, just as the man is trying to, you should, okay, it's yours for the taking. You should be pleased just as you're pleasing him. So most women don't have that particular mentality. They don't have that particular mindset, and all because of shame. That is what the society wants. They want you to be sexually shamed so that you cannot be able to express yourself, or you cannot be able to live your truth or be your person, so that they can group you together, like with other people. You will not have personality. But then self-pleasing breaks that. I'll call it yoke. See, I've called it different names. The first time I say release, chains, now yoke, prison. Like, you're going to break out of that prison, and you're going to be gradually becoming sexually free. And once you start becoming sexually free, then you can express yourself fully. Like, you can live a life that is not 90% controlled or 80% controlled. Okay, so Precious, I hope I am able to answer your question, even though I started off like a little bit confused because I don't know where you're coming from. I don't even know if I'm answering your question, but I'm just giving you what I know and what I've experienced or what I'm experiencing. I hope I'm able to actually answer your question. It doesn't affect your energy during abstaining. In fact, it helps. I'm going to say it helps. It helps your growth. But then again, it should be controlled and intentional. Like, use it. See, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons that I feel like you should use it is because it's your energy. Don't waste it. Don't think about anybody or anything outside of yourself pleasing you. Think about who you want to be, what you want to already have, how you want to be treated. Just think about, when I call all these things out, these things I just called out, who you want to be. You can self-please yourself to the fact that you are the most beautiful girl in this world, and it's your reality. It's going to work. It's your word. You can say, okay, you can please yourself to being the most wealthiest person, and gradually you're going to find out that you're actually the most wealthiest person. Everybody is, but we don't know. So you're going to think in a certain way about yourself, and that is what is going to be your reality. You're going to wake up one morning and realize that that's your reality, because you're using your energy to come to it. Like, you're like, I am so smart, I'm so intelligent, I have wisdom, I have abundance around me, I'm blessed, I'm confident. Like, just self-please yourself intentionally. Create the world that you want to live in gradually. It's going to be your word. So yeah, I had so many other questions, but I can't answer all on one video, so I'll take my time, read the next question, and probably make video on it. But for Precious, I hope this is what you're looking for. This is the answer you're looking for.